I'm trying to increase it. So, an example of a problem statement now, right? So, for practical research, sorry, we focus on the concrete details of the situation. So, one of the questions we ask when writing a problem statement is where and when does the problem arise, right? Who does the problem affect? What attempts have been made to solve the problem? Now, this problem statement actually is just adapted from a study on the decrease of voters in the southeast part of America. So, I'm going to be reading the statements now, and I'm going to be highlighting it to, thank God I used the um, each answers to each answer to the questions, right? I highlighted them with, similar colors so we can actually relate with it. So now, where and when does the problem arise? We find out that voters turnout in the southeast has been decreasing steadily over the past 10 years in contrast to other areas of the country. So these statements now have answered the question where and when does the problem arise, right? Because we found out that the where now is the southeast, right? Has been decreasing steadily over the past 10 years. The when now is the past 10 years, right? Now, the other one is who does the problem affect? So according to the survey conducted by local non-profits, turnout is lowest among those under 25 years old. Sorry, under 25 years of age. Now you found out that we are actually now addressing who does the problem affect, right? Who does the problem affect? So we're trying to see from our writing here that the people that the problem affects are those under 25 years of age, which is very understandable, right? Now the next one is what attempts have been made to solve the problem. Now look at the attempts. I was reading here. I said there have been some effective attempts at engaging these groups in other regions, and in the last two elections, major parties increased their campaigning efforts. However, this intervention have yet to have any significant effect on the turnout, right? So you found out that there's still a gap here. The solutions have not yet been provided. Although people has actually carried out recommendations provided by perhaps previous research, on engaging these groups. That is the groups. When I mean this group now is the under 25 years of age, people that are not voting, right? That have been experiencing decline, right? They have not gotten any significant effect on the turnout, right? So the next question to ask again is what will happen if the problem is not solved? Now we're going to see the answer here. So low voters turnout has been shown to have negative associations with overall civic engagement. So I think that if you can arrange your problem statement like this, you will not have issues with supervisor because you're actually following a framework, right, that will help guide your work. It is becoming an area of increasing concern in many European democracies. So you see that this is actually a problem, right? It's a problem, and we have actually tried to provide, a statement based on this question: what will happen if the problem is not solved? Now the next one is who will feel the consequence? Now, when specific groups of citizens lack political representation, they are likely to become excluded over time, leading to an erosion of trust in democratic institutions. So we are saying that who will feel the consequence now, right? Who will feel the consequence, right? Is that when specific groups of citizens lack political representation, right? That is under 25 years of age representative of the country, if they refuse to vote, right? If they refuse to vote, we found out that they are likely to become excluded over time, right? Leading to an erosion of trust in the democratic institution. Now, the next question we're going to be answering is, does the problem have a wider relevance? Are similar issues found in other contexts? Now, look at how statement was addressed. Said, addressing this problem, we have practical benefits for the southeastern US as well, and we contribute to the understanding of this widespread phenomenon, right? So we found out that if we can just follow this, right, we can actually come up with a very lovely problem statement by answering those questions while we actually carry out our research. Now, finally, there's the problem statement does not end if we not actually cite the aim, right? So we'll now say the aim of this research is to investigate effective engagement strategies to increase voter turnout in the Southeast, and to identify the most significant factors in non-voting using surveys and interviews, followed by conducting experiments to measure the effectiveness of different strategies. So this is a very well constructed problem statement. Now, mind you, if you're writing a problem statement, you don't need to be writing these questions, right? You just need to know that you have answered them in your problem statement. You just need to know you have answered them. So in each of your sentences, right, you should be, mindful of what am I answering writing this problem statement now. Is it the where and when does the problem arise? Is it who does the problem affect? Is it what attempts have been made to solve the problem? So these are the questions that should guide our problem statement. If we can do this, we can come up with a very, very interesting problem statement. This was actually referenced from MC Combs and George, right? So that's that about problem statement. So let's just move on to slide again. So because a question might arise now, so how then do we now get a problem? So where is the problem coming from? So because a lot of people don't really know how to get that problem, because it's this problem that will actually frame your research topic. If you can identify a problem, you can actually frame up a research topic from that. So let me put in alright, so we can get problems, right? Problems can originate from new frontier. Now, new frontier can be in a sense of, new happenings, emerging issues. So, issues that people have not actually provided answers to. Just like when the advent of coronavirus came into play, right? You find out that was a new disease that came, right? And it was actually so crazy, because at that point a lot of people were wondering, okay, how are we going to provide solution? How are we going to help our government? How are we going to develop policies to help safeguard our citizens, safeguard our community from the deadly virus then? So that's a new frontier. So, when there's a new frontier, it's so long maybe that's part of your research interest, along the health sector and the rest. So it's a good thing to dive into it. So because that's a problem already, right? And it's causing an issues nationally, globally, right? So new frontiers. So similar also, when we talk about the advent of generative AI, right? Generative AI has been, I think many of us we heard of DeepSeek, right? DeepSeek, this period, and how that it has, clouded ChatGPT and other Perplexity AIs like that, other AIs, those kind of emerging issues, right? Those kind of emerging issues are things we actually, jump into, right? If that's our space, if that's what we're interested in, right? Let's say if you're in the transportation industry now, about how they are talking 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 about how to, I think men like Billord, I don't want to give an example. Billord, if you know Billord very well, that is trying to bring in electric powered vehicle into Nigeria. Yes, that's good, but if someone like you that's into transport, you can actually want to get research in that direction. We want to study to know how can this is it feasible. I'm sorry, these people joining in is calling my attention. It's all right. So like I was saying, if you want to jump into something like that, right, it's a very good one, because I believe that other business owners, right, they might want to be considering how feasible, how profitable with this business work in Nigeria. What do we have in Nigeria that can allow this to, you know, come to be or to actually come to reality? Do we really have all these um, electric powered device that will power the vehicles? There are our roads. These are kind of things we can come up with. That's because it's already trending that electric powered vehicles will come in and the rest. So I'm just giving us just an example of new frontiers and how we can jump into a problem, because of course the price of fuel is rising so high, right? We know that the price of fuel is rising so high, and as a researcher we should be looking for ways to actually provide solutions, like an alternative to such, right? Now, the next one is contextual difference. Now, someone can carry out a research in Nigeria or maybe America, right? And you saw that journal, and then it can occur to you, or you can just pick up interest to see that, how can I carry out the same research, in another place, perhaps in a rural environment. Maybe they carry the research in an urban environment, right? You might want to know, can I carry this research in a rural environment to see if the results will be similar, adapting the same methodology, right? Going by the same, research or work, right? So contextual difference is one of the way we can actually get problems, right? Because it's that problem that will not help inform your research topic. So as students, as researchers, reading research papers should not be an afterthought. It's something you should be doing, so long it's your area of research, right? So what I do most of the time, I go to Google Scholar, right? I go to Google Scholar. Come in. I'm not supposed to do this, but let me just do this. Let's say Google Scholar. Google Scholar. Because Google Scholar is one of the... I'm sorry if the screen is tiny. I think it will be... I will try and increase the... I'll try to increase the font soon. So let's say, sorry, me that love econometric data now, all right? Me I love economic data, and I would just want to type economic data in Nigeria. Let me just use Nigeria. So, or let me just write Nigeria economic data as the keywords, right? And I search, and then look at this kind of all these are journals. Most of the articles in research in Google Scholar are journals. So we can just come and customize range. So I want to see what other people have discussed about this from 2019. 2019 is 25. Let's say 2020. No, to 2025, because some people have already started producing journals already, right? So I will just come here and then start reading, on things that have been said around the economic data. This economic data is only vague, right? The economic data can include inflation rate, employment rates, exchange rates, right? So this is just one of the way we could just go and then we read and we see what has been done, what has been said, That will just help us identify gaps and then see how we can contextualize it, into our own research. Research is beyond copying and pasting. It's beyond that. All right, so let's just go back to the slide. I just had to just show us there that Google Scholar is one of the places we can just go to read for and look for research paper along our interest. Right, now the other one we have is disagreement. We can pick up someone's work. And actually, in a form of an argument, debate the person's research methodology, that perhaps the person is not using the appropriate sample size, or maybe the person is using a wrong statistical tool. So where the person wants to use chi-square test, the person is using regression, or this person is not obeying the assumptions of the statistical tools. That's already a problem. So we can actually, from disagreement, get a problem and actually push it. Those kind of things are accepted, right? Accepted because now you're actually following